Good evening and Happy New Year. This is the January 2nd edition of the Digital Express with the Starkville Daily News. I'm Danny Smith, sports editor, and Joel Coleman's our Mississippi State beat writer. And Joel, Happy New Year to you.
Thank you.
It was a good 2019, and it's going to be interesting to see what 2020 brings for all of our local teams. And as the calendar flips, the basketball season gets going with some major games. Mississippi State opens up Southeastern Conference play. The women opened Thursday night. By the time some of y'all see this, they will already know if they have beaten Florida or not to start their schedule on a successful note. But Ben Howland's men's team will start their schedule on Saturday against a very good undefeated Auburn team. So it's not going to be easy right off the get-go for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And it's a chance for State to get what would be a humongous win for the net ranking and everything else whenever you're facing a team of Auburn's caliber at home. Of course, that's the team that State beat last year at home before they made their Final Four run. So, looking back at it with about to say 2020 vision, but I guess looking in reverse a little bit there, that may be the best win of the Ben Howland era when you consider the fact that he beat a Final Four team here in Starkville and going to get a chance to again do that on Saturday. And it'd be a huge boost, no doubt about it. I mean, the SEC, save for Auburn, who is undefeated, has been up and down all year. It seems like everybody's kind of right there bunched together. And this is the kind of win that could really spark something for this Mississippi State team. And State's still in pretty good shape with their non-conference record. It was fine. You feel like if they can do 500, maybe a little better in the league this year, that'd be enough to get them in the tournament. So, it'd be huge to defend the home floor against an undefeated Auburn team. Not to mention the fact, just to get some excitement going again about the men's team, because that's something that, even though they got in the tournament last year and they lost in the first game, and there's not quite the excitement level for men's basketball as there is women's and, of course, the men of yesteryear.
Right.
Winning this game would help with that. Win this one and win a couple more after, and that'd really help with that. But it's an opportunity both for the team to kind of get the momentum going again, but also for the fan base to have something to get excited about again. So, big afternoon at the Hump.
Right. I know you didn't see the game because y'all were coming back from Nashville that evening, but they got down to Kent State, which I was very impressed with, and they showed a little bit of comeback ability. You don't want to get down like that against Auburn, but they did. They played very well defensively, especially second half, and really held a very good shooting team down in that second half, and it came back and got a good win. So it'd be interesting to see if they can carry that momentum into the new year, into Saturday, and against Auburn. And Vic Schaefer's team, it's going to be really interesting to see how their early Southeastern Conference schedule goes, because they open up against Florida, a team they should beat and have beaten, although I'm sure Florida's probably a little bit more improved. But Vic Schaefer's got a young team that are learning how to play his style and learn his ways. And he's said on several occasions how it's going to be a work in progress for this team. And but they go to Georgia on Sunday, so these first two games are going to be pretty big as far as what they're going to be able to do.
Yeah, it's interesting to see this women's team, and there are some people that's kind of down on it just a little bit because, like I said, they're young and they're learning the Vic Schaefer style. And it's something now that at Mississippi State for women's basketball, a down team is a team that's still ranked 15th in the country, and if the season ended today, would have a good chance to host the first couple rounds here at the Hump. That's that's down for MSU women's basketball now. So I tell you what, that's a sign that you got a good program whenever you're young and things aren't going well. And the worst case scenario here is, like I said, if the season ended today, you'd be hosting NCAA tournament at the Hump. So the sky is not falling by any stretch of the imagination with MSU women's basketball. Vic Schaefer's machine will continue to roll. This year might be a little bit more of a struggle than some of the past years whenever you kind of got the adjustment period here with some new girls coming in and things, but still a good team. And I think this is going to be a team that, as it gets into the SEC schedule, not that they'll be perfect, they'll probably take just predicting, but I figure they'll take a lump here or there. But I think that they will get, this to me is the classic look of a team that's going to continue to improve.
Yeah.
We'll see, but I I would be shocked if you saw them regress under Vic Schaefer and that coaching staff. I think they'll be just fine. And starting here with SEC play, we'll kind of really get to start to see what they're made of.
Yeah. And, you know, I think a lot of that is the perception that without Tierra McCowan, they're not as good, which is obviously going to be true because she did a little bit of everything, rebounding, scoring, and whatever. But
yeah, you don't lose a Howard and even Enrill Howard.
Yeah,
You don't lose that and get better usually.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things.
Right. But the key was getting Jordan Danbury back to provide some leadership for this young group that is trying to improve and get better. And I see Jessica Carter. You know, she's got similar numbers that Tierra did about this time. So, and is she as good a player as Tierra? Probably not. But right now she's holding her own in there. We'll see how the SEC schedule fits her style and see what she can do there. But you know, it's going to be interesting for both teams to see how they can respond to the early Southeastern Conference games to see if they can have some positive results early, and it will help with confidence in that too. But you talk about college basketball, but high schools on Friday night, some of the teams, not all of them, will get back into action. But Starkville High is opening up their Class 6A Region 3 schedule over in Greenville, and Starkville Academy will head down Highway 25 to Winston Academy for their first district opportunity. And they've got a new coach with Bill Ball, and they have had some good wins on both the girls and the boys side, and have played some public school teams. It's helped them prepare for this moment. It'd be interesting to see how our high schools do.
Yeah, I've seen several of them in the area so far, and got to see Starkville High. And as usual, Greg Carter and company, they don't rebuild, they just reload over there. And the game in particular that I got to see fell behind and got hot. And tell you what, man, you just cannot count out Greg Carter coach Starkville High team. They're going to be in the mix.
Yeah.
And that's what stood out to me about them. You know, I know that the Lady Jackets have taken some lumps a little bit early on, but I mean they've been a scrappy bunch, and with what Christy's done with that group, Christy Williams through the years with that group, I don't know but how you can't think, kind of like I said with Vic, that group won't continue to get better and better as time goes too. So Starkville's kind of the team that I guess at this point seen the most. But yeah, as the season rolls on, in particular, I think Starkville, the boys are going to be in the mix. The girls are going to keep getting better, and like you said, Starkville Academy's done some good things already too. So. And
I think Christy Williams at Starkville High is gotten only one senior on her roster, and she doesn't really factor into the grand scheme of things. But you have juniors like Braylon Ferguson, Amalia Ford, Jaden O'Neal. That
it is a little bit of Mississippi State womanish.
It parallels really well. It really does. So, but we've got our other teams in the area like East Webster, and Eupora struggling on both boys and girls. Choctaw County, they're trying to find their way a little bit. Coach Bills was telling me the other day how they just hadn't had the practice time that he really wants them to have to really get a good sense. They're real talented.
Yeah.
From what I saw in the East Webster tournament, they had some guys that could really score, but they kind of wilted a little bit in the second half and didn't play a complete game. But I like their team. But over in Clay County, the Oak Hill boys had an 8-2 record in the first half. I think they're going to make some noise over there in that part of the county. But it's basketball season. Football's kind of in the background a little bit. Of course, like we've said before, it's always football season.
Always football season.
Everybody's thinking about it.
At least Mississippi State wise, I would about be willing to just say there are going to be staff changes.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, there could be more than just that. There's some other stuff could happen too. But we'll see about all that. So we cannot, by any stretch of the imagination, take our eyes off of football.
No.
But you're right, basketball's up and kicking, and that's kind of where, at least as far as actual scores and games and stuff, that's where the attention is for now.
Exactly. Well, stay tuned on any football changes that are there, and you can follow our Twitter handles. They're there on your screen. They've been there through our program today. But just we'll keep you updated with the basketball as it progresses. And next week we'll have another Digital Express, and we look forward to it. And y'all have a good rest of your week.